afternoon, and welcome back to Thorough Newspaper Analysis. Today is 16th of June, and this entire video series, it's brought to you by LawSikho. So now let's head to the agenda for today. The first is the editorial segment, where we've taken up this article for our discussion. It is called The Charges Against Brij Bhushan and His Aide Tomar. Essentially, here we talk about the charges that have been put forth by the Delhi police against these two accused in its charge sheet, which has recently been filed. The second is the news update segment. And thirdly, we talk about important legal developments of the day. So with this, let's dive into the TNA. And the first point of discussion, of course, would be this article. Let's understand the why of it first. See, Delhi police on Thursday, it filed a charge sheet against the outgoing chief of the Wrestling Federation of India, who is Brij Bhushan Singh. As far as the charges against him it is concerned, we have section 354, which provides for the use of assault or criminal force with the intent or knowledge to outrage the modesty of a woman. The second charge against him is 354A, which provides for sexual harassment, and the third charge being 354D, which provides for stalking. And then apart from him, the second accused is the Assistant Secretary Vinod Tomar. The charges against him, these are the four charges. First is section 109, which provides for abatement of an offense, 506, which provides for criminal intimidation. In addition to these, he has also been charged with these two sections, which is outraging the modesty of a woman, and secondly, sexual harassment. So the common charges between these two accused are these two. Now let's understand these charges one by one. First, let's take up this section, which is 354 IPC. This section underwent an amendment in the year 2013, post which its punishment it has been made stringent. As far as the body of this section is concerned, it provides whoever assaults or whoever uses criminal force to any woman. What is the mens rea here? With the intention to outrage or knowing it to be likely that he will thereby outrage the modesty of the woman, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description, which should not be less than 1 year, but which may extend to 5 years and with a mandatory fine. So this is the current punishment. However, the punishment which was provided prior to 2013, it was extendable to 2 years or with fine or with both. Now, as far as the nature of this section is concerned, offense is concerned, it is cognizable. Cognizable essentially means that the police has the power to arrest without warrant or without an order of the magistrate. It is non-bailable, which means that getting bail, it is not the right of the accused, rather it is the discretion of the court whether to grant bail or not. And it is triable by any magistrate. I have a question here, and I would request all of you to please put down your answers in the comment section. Which section of the CRPC defines these two terms, cognizable offense and also bailable offense? Now, if you've taken note of this particular section, you would have heard two terms, which is whoever assaults or whoever uses criminal force. So let's understand these two terms. For assault, we go to 351, and for criminal force, we go to 350. So let's take up 351 for our discussion first. It says whoever makes any gesture or makes any preparation intending or knowing that it is likely to cause any person who is present to apprehend that he who makes the gesture or preparation is about to use criminal force to that person commits assault. So what's happening in assault is, suppose I make a gesture or a preparation in front of somebody and I pose myself such that the other person is under an apprehension that I'm going to use criminal force against him, and I have the knowledge or the intention. So that would mean that I've committed assault. As far as criminal force is concerned, we go to 350. It says criminal force is said to be used when someone intentionally uses force on any person without consent to commit an offense, or uses force intending to cause or knowing that it is likely to cause injury, fear, or annoyance to the person to whom the force is used. So intention and knowledge, these two constitute mens rea here. Now let's understand the concept of female modesty. See, it has not been defined under the IPC. However, we make a reference to a 2007 judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, which is in the case of Ram Kripal versus State of Madhya Pradesh, wherein the Supreme Court said that the essence of a woman's modesty, it is her sex. The court also said that acts such as pulling a woman or removing her sari or requesting sex, knowing her modesty might be outraged, they were sufficient to fall under this section even without deliberate intention. Now let's go to the section, second charge, which is 354A, which provides for sexual harassment. It reads that a man committing any of the following would mean that he has committed sexual harassment. So what would be the first? Physical contact and any advances involving unwelcome and explicit sexual overtures. Secondly, a demand or a request for sexual favors. Thirdly, showing pornography against the will of a woman. And fourthly, making sexually colored remarks. They shall be guilty of the offense of sexual harassment. And here, two different punishments are prescribed for the first three clauses and for the fourth clause. Now, if we have a look at the second sort of crime, third sort of charge which is involved here, which is stalking, it says that any man who follows a woman or contacts or even attempts to contact her repeatedly, despite her clear indication that she is not at all interested, or secondly, whoever monitors the use by a woman of internet, email, or any other form of electronic communication commits the offense of stalking. However, there is an exception also which is given, which is that if the person is committing the act of stalking, why? Because he's bound by law to do so, or because he has any other justification to furnish, and this was a reasonable act. So this is an exception. Now, the minimum punishment, see, it was only after the 2013 amendments that stalking it became a punishable offense with the imprisonment, which goes up to 3 years and a possible fine on conviction. And there is also a punishment and fine which is prescribed on the subsequent conviction. Justice J.S. Verma committee, which was set up in the aftermath of the entire Nirbhaya gang rape matter, it recommended that the offense of stalking it be made a non-cognizable, a non-bailable offense with 1 to 3 years of jail term. However, as of the present offense that we have, it is made bailable. Now let's understand the nature of these two offenses, which is 506 and 109, which has been charged against Vinod Tomar. So 506 and these are the offenses. Let's take up criminal intimidation first. The punishment for criminal intimidation, it can extend to 2 years in prison and a fine or both. However, if the threat it be to cause death or grievous hurt or for the purpose of destruction of any property by fire or an offense which is punishable with death or imprisonment for life or up to 7 years in prison or to impute unchastity to a woman, then the punishment it can go up to let's say 7 years jail term or fine or both. And an offense under this section, which is 506, which is criminal intimidation that we've just seen or have a look at, this is non-cognizable and this is bailable. And the offense of abetment under 109, as far as its punishment and everything is concerned, it depends on what sort of offense you abetted. So, depending on whatever punishment and the nature of the offense it is prescribed, the principal offenses, so that would be given to you also. So, with this, we've come to an end of the editorial, and now we proceed to the next segment. And now we proceed to the national news category for today, with the first update being this. Forbes Global 2000 list release. Reliance, it rises by 8 positions. Billionaire Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries Limited, it has climbed 8 spots to rank 45th position, which is the highest for an Indian company on the Forbes listing of public companies across the world. The Global 2000, it ranks the largest companies in the world using 4 metrics, which are sales, profits, assets, and market value. JP Morgan, which is America's largest bank or the biggest bank, it is on the top of the charts for the first time after 2011. And now we proceed to an update in the category of sports for today. Aditi Gopichand Swamy, she breaks the under 18 world record. This update pertains to the Archery World Cup for the year 2023. Here, India's Aditi, she has broken the under 18 compound world record in Colombia. The 16-year-old debutante, she topped the women's compound qualification with 711 out of 720 points. This is 6 better than the previous under 18 record holder and also 2 short of the current senior record. The fourth warship of Indian Navy, which is Sanshodhak, it has been launched. India's defense entity, which is Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers, it has launched two warships of different classes together on 13th of June. These two warships, INS Anjadeep, which is the third, while the fourth survey vessel Large, they were launched by the Indian Navy. The Neel for the seventh, which is being built by this entity itself, it was also laid down during the day in the presence of Vice Admiral R.B. Pandit, Commander-in-Chief for Strategic Forces Command. Child rights advocate Lalitha Natarajan, she wins the 2023 Iqbal Masih Award. The Chennai-based lawyer activist Lalitha, she has been awarded the 2023 Iqbal Masih Award for elimination of child labor. She has worked throughout her career as a lawyer and as an activist to apply a right-based approach to child labor. As a leader in the fight to end exploitative child labor in southern India, she identifies child victims of trafficking, especially bonded labor, assisting in their reintegration into society. Ramachandra Guha's book, it wins Elizabeth Longford Prize for this year. Ramachandra Guha, he wins Elizabeth Longford Prize for the year 2023 for his book titled Historical Biography 2023 Rebels Against the Raj Western Fighters for India's Freedom. This is published by William Collins. The next update is this, which is Geological Survey of India Training Institute. It gets accredited as Athi Uttam. The GSI Training Institute, which is functioning under the Ministry of Mines, it has been awarded with the accreditation by the National Accreditation Board of Education and Training in recognizing of this is in recognition of the yeoman services, which essentially means the very good quality of services that it has rendered and the high standards that it has maintained in the field of earth science training. The assessment, it was made on the basis of inspection of all standard operating procedures and methodologies which are followed by the institute in different levels. And this has brought us to the international segment for today. The first update, it pertains to the Global Slavery Index for the year 2023. This index, it is created by Walk Free, which is a human rights organization, and it is based on data from the Global Estimates of Modern Slavery produced by ILO, which is International Labour Organization, Walk Free, and also by International Organization for Migration. These are the three sets of key findings in this particular index. The first is that the countries with the highest prevalence of modern slavery, they include North Korea, Eritrea, and then we have Mauritania, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Tajikistan, and the countries with the lowest prevalence, they include Switzerland, Norway, Germany, Netherlands, and Sweden, while the countries with the highest number of people who are living in modern slavery, they include India, China, North Korea, Pakistan, Russia, and Indonesia. Next update in the international category is this. World Bank launched its first road safety project. The World Bank, it has launched its first dedicated road safety project in South Asia with a sanction of or financing agreement of US dollar 358 million. This was signed in Dhaka with the government of Bangladesh. This project, it seeks to improve road safety and reduce fatalities and injuries from road crashes in selected cities, high-risk highways, and district roads. Two national highways of Bangladesh, which is Ghazipur Linga, and then we have Notor Nawabganj. These will be taken up for implementation of this particular project. This project, it will pilot comprehensive road safety measures, and it aims or seeks to help reduce the road traffic related deaths by more than 30% on these two particular highways. And this has brought us to the last segment for today, which is the segment of legal updates. Bail condition to furnish bank guarantee, it is unsustainable in law, the Supreme Court has reiterated. While changing the bank guarantee to bail bond, the Supreme Court recognized the finding, or rather reiterated the findings of the top court itself in the case of Makhijani Pushpak Harish versus State of Gujarat, where the Supreme Court has held that bank guarantees as bail conditions, they were unsustainable under law. The name of this particular case is Karandeep Singh versus CBI. The next update, it also comes from the Honorable Apex Court. Competition Act, it is applicable to Coal India Limited. The Supreme Court has held. The court also held that Nationalization Act, it could not be reconciled with the Competition Act. The name of this particular matter is Coal India Limited versus Competition Commission of India. And with this, we've come to an end for today's DNA. In case you want to get access to the free study material that LawSikho provides, or the TNA slides that have been used in this video, I would highly encourage all of you to please feel free to join our Telegram channel. And for the very same purpose, you may scan the barcode here or click on the link which is provided in the description. These are the point of contacts in case you want to get in touch with LawSikho. Also, the link to the TNA, which is based on yesterday's, to link to the TNA quiz, which is based on yesterday's TNA, it is made available for your feasibility in the description itself. I would highly encourage all of you to please go ahead and attempt the same. Thank you for being with us.